Welcome to Made in Walker, the podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
Sobie Meat's more than just a local butcher shop. It has really become a special place for the city of Walker and really much of the West Side. It's going through a transition, and here to talk about that transition, what happens next, even what stays the same, we have original owner Tim Sobie and new owner Amy Jones. Thank you both so much for making time out of your busy schedules to meet with us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes.
Very exciting.
The schedule is way busier than mine.
Sure. Right now, you are just easing out into retirement, Tim. Yeah. So all this, we'd heard the news maybe late last year, late 2025. Now all that's kind of becoming really real now. What made you want to kind of, step away after 22 years or so?
Probably the biggest thing a couple of years ago is it was public knowledge, had heart issues, and thought, man, if I'd have checked out at that time, left everything to Teresa, that would have been quite a bit. So we've kind of been thinking about selling anyway, and then this opportunity came up just this last year with Amy. Yeah. So made it all work out great.
Yeah. And after speaking with Amy, what was it about her that made you feel like, okay, this would be a comfortable transition for us?
Probably within about 3 seconds, you love Amy, if it takes that long. And just the first meeting that we had, even just to discuss it, and we left there. I mean, we didn't even leave the meeting. And Teresa and I are like, we love that girl. Like, that's somebody that has a passion, of future things to go. She's got some great ideas of future growth for Sobe Meat. So I think she's going to take that to the next level anyway, but she just has that natural warming characteristic about her.
Yes, yeah. The important thing about you, too, is that you're both family businesses. Amy coming off of kind of almost 4 generations of Andy Egan, correct?
Yes. Correct. Yep, we were the 4th generation.
Wow.
Yes.
And so going from that construction background into, entrepreneur spirits as well, what has that transition been like? And what was it about Sobies that drew you to them?
So prior to the fall, late fall, I didn't really... Sobies was not on my mind by any means. And it was a mutual friend, pretty much, or acquaintance that kind of put us in contact. And it was similar to how Tim said, like, within the first meeting, the first few minutes, I'm like, if you know Tim and Teresa, like, I just fell in love with them. And I'm just like, okay, I know nothing about the meat business, but here we go. I think it's going to be part of the bigger plan and the bigger, vision maybe. And then coming from construction, there's, some commonalities, but it is definitely a different industry. That's for sure.
Of course. What are you learning about the meat industry, the butcher shop?
Gosh.
I'm sure there's a lot that surprised you.
There's a lot, and I'm still learning. The team is fantastic, and they're so patient with me, and I'm just trying to stay out of the way. And it's just an amazing team there.
And that's the important thing, too, is when you think maybe about changing ownerships as far as businesses, what's going to happen to the staff? So what were you able to make happen?
No one has left, right. And that was very important because it is a family company, and it's a family feel there, and everybody is just fantastic. And so far, like I said, the biggest thing I can do is just stay out of the way. They got it covered. Everybody's doing great, and it's just going along like it always has.
Yeah. And Tim, you're kind of easing into retirement, not fully out of the shop just yet, kind of sticking around doing some things. How is that transition going? And is it going to be tough to, not walk in there for a full week, a month down the road?
I'm kind of getting used to it. And for many years, this is my analogy is, as kids, you're on the merry-go-round and you run, then you get on and your friend pushes you on the merry-go-round and it gets going really fast. Now you're going, how do you get off without getting hurt, right? You jump off. So this part has been really nice to start kind of sliding out and not just, okay, you sign the papers, you left on Saturday, and then you're all done on Tuesday. This has really been nice to kind of slow down a little bit instead of just stop.
Yeah. And you've
I'm getting used to it though.
glad to hear. We want you to enjoy that retirement, but and you've done so much, giving back so much to the community as well. You also support local growers, farmers, small businesses too. Looking back at 22 years, what are some of the things that you're proud of?
Teresa and I were not ones to say, look what we did, right? But there's a great sense of accomplishment helping, whether it's an organization or just a family. There's cancer hits, you have a fundraiser. And I think that's probably one of the things that has been the nicest, is to be involved that way. It might sound corny or cheesy, but it's the truth. And helping out other ones that need help, right? Yeah. And so that feels a little bit different as ones that come in every year because they have their regular fundraiser, and we're not the ones at the helm of the ship. It's kind of like, okay, leave your hand off. You don't have anything to do with that now.
Yes. You've evolved the place so much too. So, Amy, what are some of your passions that you're excited to kind of bring to Sobies and looking into the next?
Yes, as far as like the charities and organizations and things like that, definitely want to keep what Tim and Teresa have been doing over the years with the first responders and veterans and things like that. That's so important and means a lot to me as well. So I want to continue those efforts for sure. A couple other ones that I'm, passionate about is the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Michigan. So I do a lot with Make-A-Wish. And then also Beautiful You by Profile. So that's a very local organization and charity over on Alpine there, and helping out women and children that are going through the cancer process and whatnot, and kind of spoiling them for the day and giving them the appointments that they look forward to instead of maybe those, the pokes and the procedures and things like that.
Yeah. That's such an integral part, it seems, that Sobies has really become, is just kind of caring for the community in more ways than one.
Yes.
So.
And then did you have maybe somebody in the family that helped Beautiful You get started?
Yeah, so Beautiful You, it is more, so my mom helped out a little bit with the women that founded it and whatnot, and so it was a longtime friend, and just when the time came, it worked out, and my mom was able to be part of that. And so now there's the wig room is named after my grandmother, who did go through some cancer stints through in her life, and so it is more of a personal organization too, and they're doing great things, so want to support them.
Yeah, that was wonderful to hear. And a little bit of a connection between the wig room, but also another venture that you have too is Benji Salon, also in Walker, Standale in particular. Two very different businesses. So but again, at the core, business is probably all you run it the same, but what's that been like in balancing those two opposites?
Well, the salon came a few years, so 2022. And that was a passion project. It was me and a couple girlfriends, and really brought it to life. And again, I know nothing about hair. I know nothing about that industry. And it's all about the people. And it's an amazing group of women there that really run it and on the day-to-day things. And then I have a dance studio in Marne, and same thing, a great set of people there that's running that. So, dance, hair, and meat, they don't necessarily go together, but this is where I'm at. So here we go. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of things to learn. That's got to be exciting.
It is. It's extremely exciting. Yeah. And again, it's just, I've been so fortunate because it is all about the people. And so now, the people that I'm meeting and getting to know at Sobies, it's broadening that network, and it's just great. It's amazing.
And Tim, how did you kind of break the news to your workers as well? Again, being just so tight knit, just, there's a new mom coming in or so, new parents taking over. How's that?
Well, Amy was willing to be thrown under the bus. So
yes, I was there.
Yeah. So we took a Saturday, the end of the day, and this is pretty big, right?
It is.
And so we wanted to tell everybody firsthand. and introduce Amy to the whole staff. So ones that weren't working on that Saturday, we called everybody up, gave them the opportunity to stop in, and we're having a team meeting. It was shortly before Christmas, just a couple weeks ahead of time. So I think everybody was figuring, okay, what are the hours we're working, because there's other things you do behind the scenes that the community doesn't see. So had the meeting and introduced Amy, and it was a little bit of pull to pin, threw the grenade in the room, and
I was expecting more of a explanation, and he just first things out of his mouth. I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, this is happening. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you got a Christmas miracle. You got a new boss.
Exactly. That's what it was too. Yes. Yeah.
Succession planning is very important in business. And was there a time where you were just wondering, what your options would be? Would you close up, or how did that look when you're, thinking about retirement?
Being a business owner, if you don't sell, then you're just closing up. Mm-hmm. So certainly you have a better retirement package if you can sell, right? And I know through the years, customers come in, when are you going to retire? Well, we got a monkey on our back first, right?
Yes, yeah.
And we have to sell the business before we can retire. And the whole thing, I just thank God, he was the one, he was instrumental that he's the puppeteer that put us together and made it all happen. Yeah. And it's nothing less than a God thing that the right person is coming in and keeping our whole staff, and it's just incredible. Deals like this don't happen every day.
Yeah. And as fast as it happened, correct.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Smooth. Yes.
You can't buy a house in 6 weeks.
Exactly. Yes.
Love that it's, being kept local. That's so important as well.
Very much so.
Tim, we had you back on a podcast earlier last year, and I was mentioning to you, people are continuously downloading it. So your story really resonated with a lot of folks. They love hearing about that, how you got your start. What does that feel like, just knowing that there was so much community support for you? I mean, you built that up.
Yeah. And, back in the day, I was, like thousands of others, laid off from Steelcase. Teresa was downsized from Hartford Insurance after 27 years. And so we really started from nothing. And the community that embraced us and have supported us for 22 years, there's nothing like that. And I think part of that story is, the old saying is, when a door closes, a window opens, that no matter what happens in life, there's hope, right? Keep the faith. There's something out there. He won't let you down. So I think maybe that's something that people can connect to also.
Love that perspective.
Yeah.
And so looking forward, what is something you're looking forward to in retirement? A couple new
Being
hobbies.
the groundskeeper, right? Amy knows that. So, and tell Teresa, hey, there's a stick on the trail. Gotta go pick that up. So, just kind of spending more time up north. We got a couple trips that we want to do this year. And one, actually, we have traveling friends who've been trying to do this for like 3-4 years now, is to go to Maine and then up into Nova Scotia. And I don't know if I can say it or not. Well, yeah, it's your podcast, but the show on History Channel, The Curse of Oak Island, real watchers of that show. And a year ago, Christmas, our kids got us a trip to go out to the island. So in Nova Scotia, then we'll do a boat trip. And so we just talked to the guy day before yesterday to book it. And there's another thing that you do a tram on the island. So it's like, ooh, can't wait. Can't wait.
You, Tim.
So they're gonna find the treasure while we're there. So.
Oh my goodness, wonderful. Good for you. You deserve that. And then Amy, looking forward as well, kind of where do you picture things? We're thinking big picture a year from now or so, but I know it's
yes, hopefully in a year, and I've said this to multiple people at the store, I'm hoping in a year I'll have more opinions and maybe input. Right now I'm just soaking it in and trying to be a sponge and just learning it. And maybe in a year there won't be a change in the feel of the store. Don't want to change any of that. The local feel, the customer interaction, the just the hometown part of it is that's not going anywhere or whatever. But maybe in a year there might be some other, additions, maybe some kind of like online ordering or things like that. So it doesn't change the store feel, but maybe some more modernization type things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it's been such a pleasure having you both in studio, and so happy to see that Sobies will continue thriving and being that vibrant community hub that the mayor likes to talk about, that pulse check. One of the places in Walker you could really go meet your neighbors, find out what's going on in the community. So happy retirement to you, Tim. Yes.
Appreciate you having us in.
Yes, thank
Beautiful
you so
Bloody
much.
Mary. Thank you, Nicole.
Only.
Yeah, we treat our guests right. No, my goodness. So it's been a pleasure, and thank you both so much. Or thank you for tuning in too.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Made in Walker podcast. If you have comments or questions about this podcast, or if you have suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop us an email at podcast@walker.city. Made in Walker is the official podcast of the city of Walker, Michigan. You can find Made in Walker wherever you get your podcasts.